Ladies and gentlemen, it's time to acknowledge our hardcore king on Sportswire Radio as he once again has reigned supreme in retaining his Tennessee Backyard Wrestling Hardcore Championship this past weekend at season finale as we went Hollywood as he exercised his demons against his longtime nemesis this past season, the Grim Reaper, Joe Anderson. And he proved once and for all that anyone who may claim to be hardcore, whether it's the likes of Sergeant Jimmy Controversy, hardcore himself, Obey, Mac 10, Omen Black, the hardcore god, and even Dustin Alexander, or how about Mikey Anarchy? None of them paled into comparison to what our guest did this past weekend at season finale 7 as we went Hollywood. He's here to talk about it and the future of our Atomic Titan. And who knows, we might even have a few announcements on Sportswire Radio, plus an announcement to acknowledge our hardcore king, to give him the respect that he has lacked here on Sportswire Radio these last several weeks. Our guest needs no further introduction, but because Jack Delta got that introduction, Jackson Law got that introduction, Omen Black and Soldier GP got that introduction, Mikey Anarchy got that introduction, Hardcore got that introduction, Obey got that introduction, and the list goes on and on and on and on. It's time to give him that introduction that he deserves. So with that, without further ado here on the Sports Report, number one, Global Sports Show, the reigning, defending TBW Hardcore Champion, the only Grand Slam champion in TBW history. He is the Hardcore King, the Atomic Titan. The champ is here.
You are right. The champ is here, and there was no doubt. Everyone wanted to doubt me, but you know what? A season finale. Look what I did. If you haven't seen it, go check it out. It's probably my best performance yet.
I'll tell you what, I'm going to say it here because we're going to have an announcement for you, sir, in a little while. But I'm going to announce it here, in my opinion, as the host of the Sports Report, the owner of Sportswire Radio, the people's radio station, where all wrestling matters, as your voice of all wrestling, the Reverend Tom Bryce, the Hardcore King, the Atomic Titan. You proved to show that, listen, Sergeant Jimmy Controversy, Hardcore, Mac 10, Obey, Mikey Anarchy, Omen Black, Soldier GP, and even Dustin Alexander are nowhere in your league, and that's why you are the true, not only hardcore king of TBW, but the true hardcore king of this sport.
You're right. There's no one that can touch me. What I did was, unbelievable. Some people want to praise me for what I did,
They're
You
front
know, I've been
runners.
getting
They're front
messages
runners.
all on
They're trying to front
Instagram.
run on you. That's what it is, sir. They're trying to front run.
Right. And then there is some people that are still upset. I've seen the videos, I've seen the reactions. You know what? They're just gonna have to get over it because I'm never losing this title. Never. There won't be nobody in TBW or, like I said, anywhere that's gonna take this away from me.
And I would tell you this much. Over 2,500 people on YouTube alone have watched season finale 7 as we went Hollywood. And they watched our hardcore king retain his hardcore championship against the Grim Reaper, Joe Anderson, despite all the odds against you, despite everything that was put forward against you by Commissioner Beast, and everything that the Grim Reaper, Joe Anderson, tried to do to you, throwing you in those tires, throwing you in that truck with all the garbage all on it, everything that was done to your body, being hit in the fan, with being dropped on with the fan, all the different things that you were put through. At the end of the day, you are here. You are here as the true hardcore king of this sport, and the only Grand Slam champion in TBW history, and of course, as our reigning, defending hardcore champion.
And you are right. Beast did put me through a lot. I was expecting a TLC match. I was preparing for that.
It was only Falls Count anyway. That's what it was.
And then he changed it on me. Oh my God. He was really trying to make me lose this title, it seemed like. Because, you go prepare for something else and then it gets changed. Wow. Of course.
Well, he's got his own issues, which we'll get to later on. Certainly, Commissioner Beast, maybe he, I guess he went to the dark side, or maybe he had some lead paint. I don't know, maybe both.
Oh, something came out of his mouth and blood out of his eyes. I don't know.
That's what I thought. Although no one's gonna feel too sorry for Johnny J and the Nature Boy Gage Flair.
I mean, yeah, we did get a good cash in. I mean,
we'll get to that. No, we'll get to that. But right now, it's your time. I want to ask you this question, the Atomic Titan. Obviously, you retained the championship. You knew all along you were going to. But, the doubts were certainly there by the announced team. Obviously, Commissioner Beast. You weren't hardcore. You haven't competed in hardcore matches. You cheated to win the title. You failed to win match after match. But here we are. You're the one that's standing supreme. You're the one that's the true hardcore king of the sport. Do you feel vindicated?
Oh, well, I'll say this. It was a clean win. 1, 2, 3. There wasn't nothing else about it. I didn't have to have someone come out there and cheat for me or nothing else. I had the odds stacked up against me, like you said, but it was a tough battle, trust me, after everything I went through in that match. And, I'm still the hardcore champion. I knew it, like you said, all along. I would win at the end of the day, and I proved the people wrong. I said I wasn't hardcore enough or I wasn't the hardcore king. Well, I proved them wrong. And, at the end of the match, I said anybody that wants this, that wants a chance at this, come next season, come and face the hardcore king. I'm ready. Stack them all.
You know what? That's an interesting point, because I picked up on it right away. The Atomic Titan. I picked up when you said anyone, you'll challenge anyone. You said bring it on. And again, some names I mentioned, some really lofty names out there. Sergeant Jimmy Controversy. Obviously, we know him Pro Wrestling Venom, XPW, Resurrection Wrestling, Grimm's Toy Shop, UWF, Hardcore. Just saw him square off with Jimmy Controversy and defeat him in the TF Crew, which is on the Pro Wrestling Venom page. We obviously mentioned Mikey Anarchy, another guy, well-known, also Grimm's Toy Shop, UWF, XPW, list goes on, TF Crew. Mac 10, know him also, Resurrection Wrestling, our local guy. Obey, another guy, Carnage Cup. And then I mentioned a few other names, like Dustin Alexander, Resurrection Wrestling. And another guy who calls himself a hardcore god, the boogeyman of the Midwest, Omen Black. And then there's always the likes of Soldier GP, the popular hero monster. But, those names, lofty names, but I don't know right now if they could go one-on-one with you and be able to take that TBW Hardcore Championship after what you did to the Grim Reaper Joe Anderson, who has been one of the most ruthless, one of the most deadliest champions and competitors, I would dare say, not just in TBW history, but in this sports history.
Yeah, you're right. None of them compare to what I do. And I'm just going to say that as a fact right there. There's nobody out there. I took out the Grim Reaper. You see how many times he got up after I hit him?
Oh my God, he got up so many times up there. So I mean, listen, I almost thought you were gonna have to kill him. There was even points. Listen, and he made you bleed. Listen, you were bleeding more than what I just saw between Jimmy Controversy and Hardcore. Listen, Jimmy Controversy basically took it looked like a syringe to Hardcore's lip. You were even bleeding more than Hardcore and Jimmy Controversy up at the TF Cruz North Haven Massacre. This is how deadly, and this is how much you had to take from the punishment from the Grim Reaper Joe Anderson to keep your Hardcore Championship and to retain supreme as being the Hardcore King, not only in TBW, but in this sport.
Yeah, there was like a scratch on my head. It's probably faded away, but that's.
Oh my God! You know what? I don't even know if Flair would ever recover from that. I mean, think about how many times Flair has bladed. I mean, you really went through the run there. I mean, you went through the gauntlet, to say the least.
Yeah, I did. It was a tough battle, like I said, and I had to just keep going. You never stop in that situation.
Did you ever feel though times in the match that, I don't know what I got to do to put, Joe Anderson. We've seen this before with Joe Anderson. Joe Anderson is a guy that, he's been a world champion before. This is a guy that is, he's no layup. He's no walk in the park. And frankly, I actually think some of the guys I mentioned, like Jimmy Controversy, Hardcore, Mac 10, Obey, Mikey Anarchy, certainly Dustin Alexander, he knows it very well. They would struggle with a Grim Reaper Joe Anderson.
Yeah, especially after a few times I hit him with that wood and then he got up and I swung it at him and he still managed to kick me in the head. And then especially after, he hit me with the spear, I kicked out.
And then I think you did the frog splash off the top rope, but he still kicked out. Remember that spot?
Yeah, still kicked out of that. And then I hit him with the running knee. He kicked out of 2 of those. And then I literally was like, you should have seen my eyes. I was like,
I did actually.
I was like, what do I have to do? And then I hit him with another running knee. I put him out, and he was done for.
I don't think we're going to be seeing him challenge you anytime soon. I think even the Grim Reaper Joe Anderson acknowledges and now respects our Hardcore King.
Yeah, and there was someone else that I seen return. I mean, you might mention him. That's a former Hardcore champion.
Yep. Oh, I did. Yes, I did see that, and I think that it was actually right before your match. Actually, and he certainly did a number on the party animal, Fat Asian. But I don't think the party animal was certainly the party killer. Now is certainly killing any parties and certainly partying like an animal, like he once used to be. I think we're talking about that individual who did a number on Fat Asian.
Well, let's just say this. I seen what he said. He's going to take out anybody or, if he gets placed up against me for this title, if it happens, I mean, what did he do with this championship that I've done? Nothing. He hasn't done nothing. So, Manny Cobra.
Yep.
If you're watching and you...
The Puerto Rican Nightmare. Manny Cobra. Manny Cobra.
You know what? Let's look back at history. I faced him in a chairs match, and that was his debut, and I beat him. So, if he wants to, say this on Instagram or even on the show that he's going to take out anybody, I think he'd probably name drop me. But, it's not going to happen.
So you think that he should instead rather just respect you and acknowledge you to be the Hardcore King?
Yeah, and then move on to something else, whatever else.
Maybe he could continue to finish business there with the party killer, Fat Asian. Maybe he could try to kill his party, I suppose.
Yeah, he should stay there. And then I don't really think there's any competition right now in TBW that can take this from me.
But then maybe why not retire? Call it a career. At least from the hardcore version. Don't even worry about those guys. Don't even worry about Sergeant Controversy. Don't even worry about Hardcore. Don't even worry about Mac 10, Mikey Anarchy, Obey. Don't even worry about Dustin Alexander, Omen Black, Soldier GP. Just forget about them. You've done it all. Retire and call it quits. Do what Tom
Maybe I
Brady couldn't
should.
do. Do what
Maybe
Michael
I
Jordan
should.
couldn't do.
Maybe I should. Because, they can't touch me. They're not me. They're not the hardcore king. If they stepped in front of me, I would slap them right in the face.
No, I
Is
think you
there.
would. Listen, I tell you what, I definitely think you would. But there's a lot of people that want to talk to you, and I want to let them have the opportunity to voice their opinions and maybe respect you. We'll have to find out very
It
shortly.
better not be no disrespectful comments.
Well, you know what? Speaking of people, though, that definitely don't respect you, he is a big man. He is from DBW, Dominant Breakout Wrestling, and his name is Mr. Big Tex, the big man of DBW. Boo! I'd rather have the man hardcore himself than this skinny twig. Well, I did mention hardcore, and he will be back on Sportswire Radio in a few
You know
weeks.
what? I got something to say to that guy because isn't
Yeah,
that
tell me.
guy that was on here a couple of days ago that
Yes,
said
he was. He was on here
would
Saturday.
break me like a twig or something? It's better for you to just stay where you are and us not cross paths at all, because if it happened, I would do to you like I did to Joe Anderson. I'm not scared of nobody. I took on, bigger guys. I'm not scared. Respect your hardcore king, Big Tex.
Well, you know what? I guess he'll have to step outside of Tex country if he wants to show that he can do what he says, I suppose, no? Want to say hello to my buddy Ron Franklin out there. Ron, how you doing? Ron's in Pennsylvania. Hello, Mr. D'Angelo the Flame. We're going to see D'Angelo. And D'Angelo, by the way, heard a lot of buzz from people off Sportswire that were talking to me about it, because he came on Sportswire and he was a part of season finale 7. We're going to see him on the 27th of January. I'm going to see him one more time, I believe, also at Elevation for Resurrection Wrestling. And we have coverage with Resurrection starting next Monday, this Monday coming up here, with the wrestling's greatest referee, Steven Silvestri, is here right after Monday Night Raw. So go watch Raw, and right afterwards, check myself and certainly Mr. Silvestri. We want to talk all things related to Resurrection. I want to say hello to Jules NYC. Good evening, Tom and Atomic Titan. I hope you gentlemen are having a nice night tonight. Yes, we are definitely having a lively discussion, a respectful discussion, because we are respecting our hardcore king. Ron, no, disappointed though, calling you an emo goof. That's not fair. You don't strike me as a newfound glory or used fan, but that's a different conversation for a different job. That was funny. Hey, D'Angelo, how's it going? What's up, Jules? I'm fine at work. Hope you're doing well. Also, I hope you're having a nice evening. I'm revved up for the show. Yes, thank you for that. And if you are revved up for the show, I also hope you support Tennessee Backyard Wrestling on their YouTube page at Tennessee Backyard Wrestling, Facebook at Tennessee Backyard Wrestling, Instagram at Tennessee Backyard Wrestling, and TikTok at Tennessee Backyard Wrestling, where you can watch season finale 7 and support this great company, which has over 6,100 subscribers on their YouTube page. I want to say hello to another person coming to Sportswire very soon before the 27th, Mr. Drake Golddragon. We know Drake very, very well. I respect Titan, but I don't know about being a hardcore king. And maybe he'll respect you after tonight.
The disrespect.
Johnny J got torn the hell up. Yeah, Johnny J, we're going to get to Johnny J. But speaking of people, though, that definitely aren't respecting you, a man that looks like he's making his way back to TBW, Mr. Joshua Allen, of course, the 5th member of the Sportswire Radio Hall of Fame, says still don't respect you, never have, never will. And the new photo, by the way.
I seen him return. I was going to mention this because, I was going to go on his live the other night when he was on there talking about his return, but I thought I would wait and, speak about it here.
I appreciate that very much. I've actually been noticing lately a lot of people say, no, I want to come on Sportswire first before I talk somewhere else. Yeah, I appreciate that very much.
He wants to, say, he's, has passion, and I don't. I seen him crying when he came out. He must be a crybaby.
It was emotional. No, it was emotional for him, and not so much for you though. Not so much for you.
I understand, but I think he wants to come back because he wanted to be relevant. He wanted to stand in my spotlight.
You think he's jealous of your spotlight? You think he's jealous of it?
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah, for sure.
I mean, you think he's jealous of the fact that you were the one that put TBW on the map? You were the one that helped elevate this company, pun intended, for Resurrection Wrestling? You think that's what it is?
Yes.
Yeah? You think he's jealous of the fact that he wishes he would have been the first ever Grand Slam champion in TBW history? You think that he's jealous of the fact that you're the hardcore champion? You think that those are the things that maybe that he wishes he had and he doesn't?
I agree. Yes, 100%. Everything you said right there was straight facts.
Well, there's a lot of people that have a lot more things they want to say, and I want to let them speak because of one name I mentioned in my list of people that you may square off with or may not want to square off with you seem like that they don't agree. That is the IMF World Champion, the popular monster, and Soldier GP's coming back to Sportswire Sunday night. New Year's Vengeance, going to be promoting that all Sunday night. He is here, and he says, well, for a delusional champ.
I'm not delusional. Do you see me right now? Do I look delusional? No. And I seen you on here asking for me to come face your boy, but yeah, he's gonna have to earn it. He's not the hardcore king. People come to me.
Well, he calls himself a hardcore god, though.
He's not a god. I said that on the latest episode of Rampage.
I said
I was a hardcore god. I'm the hardcore king god, whatever you want to say. It's facts. Now get it right, Soldier GP or Omen Black.
Are you saying that they're both the same person?
No, I'm just telling both of them.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm sure Mr. Black will be here. I have no doubt that they will. But certainly, speaking of people that do not like you, that is Commissioner Beast. And although Commissioner Beast, I'm still figuring, did he have lead paid? Did he make a crooked deal? Did he go to the dark side? I'm sure he'll answer that in due time, but he still calls you a softcore champ.
I hope he loses his job for what he done. I hope someone comes in and fires him. Honestly,
but who would replace him though?
Maybe it should be me. Maybe they should come to me.
Maybe that's where I say you retire, call it quits, and just focus on running TBW, because clearly those that are running TBW, maybe they're not doing as good a job as you would.
Yeah, because you see, the people that are running TBW, they're not either there or they're on vacation, obviously, or they're dealing with some cult right now, like the Prophecy, getting overtaken by spells by that guy. Beast, you put me through hell. You have. And I'm sick and tired of it. You wanted to come meet me backstage multiple times over the season and, come at me.
He tried to test your limits. He certainly tried. He wanted you pretty much gone in TBW. If you didn't win that hardcore championship, to remind those that are listening and watching on Sportswire Radio, you'd be out of here. And that was his words. He wanted you out of here, Commissioner Beast.
You're right. And, he must think about the past because, back in the original industry days from 2-3 years ago, he was my bodyguard at that time. And, I fired him because he wasn't doing a good job.
Well, now obviously he's certainly, it would appear to have aligned with the Prophet Jay Wild, and I'm sure that's a question that will be answered in due time. And Commissioner Beast has promised to come on to Sportswire, so hopefully we hear from before the season.
And you know what? If he's an active wrestler anytime soon, if he decides to step back in the ring, he don't need to step in the ring with me. Because I have a lot of built-up tension.
Well, I think that the Nature Boy Gage Flair is certainly going to have a target on Commissioner Beast's back. I think that's where I would certainly say maybe you might be off the hook temporarily. I have a lot of comments. A lot of people are fired up, and you just wait to see these comments, and I'm going to tell you what some people said. Soldier GP says, open challenge to anyone. Foundation going to have to show up in Tennessee.
Well,
Iowa to Tennessee, I guess it's doable, right? Iowa to Tennessee?
Show up, yeah.
So that's a management issue, you think, right?
Yeah, I mean, contact management.
Well, what do you think? Could this guy do?
I mean, yeah, he could. Yeah, contact Beast.
Commissioner Beast? Yeah,
Let's make it happen.
Well, Commissioner Beast, you're on the clock. Steven Silvestri calls you the knockoff Hardcore King. I disagree, because again, of what you did to the Grim Reaper, Joe Anderson. It certainly speaks volumes. I'm happy I watched that match 3 times, and I want people to watch it 3 more times on the Tennessee Backyard Wrestling YouTube page. Speaking of Mr. Allen, though, he's got something to say, and I'm going to read it off. He says, you holding the Hardcore Championship is a slap in the face to Omen Black, Jimmy Controversy, Hardcore, Soldier GP, and many others.
This guy never shuts up. He never shuts up. Like I said, he's jealous. He's jealous of my success and what I've been able to do with this championship right here. And I'm sick and tired of you, Josh, coming on here, going on Instagram, going on Facebook, and complaining about what I'm doing. Now it's time to shut up and respect me. And now, since you're back in TBW, you'll be the first one to get on your knees and kiss my boots. You understand me?
You know what, Mr. Allen? You may have to answer that question. I have, though, a lot of people that want to talk to you.
I'll slap him in his face, too. I'm not scared. I've done it before. I'll do it again.
Well, you know what? That's certainly a question that we'll certainly come right back to. Stephen Silvestri, our guest Monday night, says Dustin Alexander is more hardcore. I mentioned Dustin Alexander, and he's coming on to Sportswire. He's coming on. I said he's coming on here.
I'm the real hardcore champion of Tennessee.
Well, you know what? I'm going to ask him some questions about this next Thursday. So he's here next Thursday night. We'll talk to him about it. Silvestri wants to ask you, though, who do you think is the Resurrection assistant GM? It's not Commissioner Beast.
It might be me.
Oh, really? It might be you. All right.
Might be me. It could be
not Commissioner Beast.
It might be him, honestly. It could be him. He might be playing games with us.
Well, he's here Monday night right after Raw, and I'll ask him that question. I'll put him right in the grill. So either way, we'll find out then. And they've got their big show coming up in 18 days from now. We're going to see Lockdown, and again, Cage of Hell. It's going to be Mikey Anarchy. It's going to be Jimmy Controversy. It's going to be Mac 10 and a fourth participant to be named later. So you got three of the most deadly hardcore wrestlers in the sport. Obviously, you're number one, but certainly maybe number 2, 3, and 4 would be Mac 10, Hardcore, and Jimmy Controversy. Mikey Anarchy threw Hardcore in there. But the point is,
why not put me in that match? I could be the fourth man.
You really want to do that to yourself?
Yeah, I want to prove I'm more hardcore than
No. Take the rest of the month off. You don't need to be in there with Mikey Anarchy. You don't need to be in there with Jimmy Controversy. You don't need to be in there with Mac 10. Remember, you don't need to do those things.
You're right. I might just take the night off.
Listen, you're the top guy in this sport now. Controversy, Mac 10, Anarchy, those guys, you know what? They're beneath you now. You're a hardcore king. They're not a hardcore king.
You're right, because I just need to take the night off while they're out there doing their hardcore match. I'll be sitting in the back if I'm so happen there or even at home watching. And,
I'll be watching on TikTok, Resurrection Wrestling on TikTok. I
proved I'm more hardcore.
Listen, that's what I say. I got a lot more comments, and I'm still behind. Joshua Allen says, Titan went from looking emo to a poor excuse of a Charlie Sheen. I don't see the Charlie Sheen resemblance, though.
I don't either. I don't know what he's talking about, and, I frankly don't care.
Well, you know what? I'm going to certainly move on. Big Tex wants to say, maybe Titan, I show up to TBW to destroy you, take that hardcore title, then give it to someone who actually deserves it.
Who is someone that deserves it? Because there's nobody. Oh, you say you're going to show up and destroy me? Oh, what a joke.
Well, we'll have to find out. Somebody else I want to say hello to, Jordan Beardown. I know who he is. What's up, Atomic Freaking Titan? Just showing respect to the Hardcore King. Really enjoyed season finale. Looking forward to the next season, season 8 of TBW, which will be toward late winter, early spring. Stay tuned to TBW socials for more information on that. Speaking of people who aren't quite hardcore but hold the championship, the resident rock star Sean Jovi wants to say hello. How you doing, the resident rock star? Sean Jovi has an open challenge. He's going to be in the ring next weekend for the IMF and their New Year's Vengeance. We're going to have more coverage against Sunday night. I'll ask Omen and Soldier about these things. Jules NYC has a question for you. I'm sure you get asked this a lot, though, but I'll ask it to you anyway. When is, are you having a meet and greet soon, or are you kind of just taking the whole winter off and no meet and greets?
I can too many fans out there. I can set one up if you want to meet me.
Yeah. All right. Well, you know what? That could be. That may be an issue for. I guess Jules will have to find the time and place. Maybe that'll be. I know. Many of your fans want to respect you and acknowledge you, but that might be something. I'm sure that stay tuned for. Mr. Allen wants to say, jealous. I don't need a belt to be relevant or a $500 custom robe like Flair has, or even your coat or glasses. All I need is the TBW universe.
Oh, you weren't saying that a few months ago.
Oh, well, he was another life a few months ago with
Yeah,
another
a new
individual.
form or whatever it was
Whoever
at the
that guy
time.
was, I have no idea.
Yeah.
I forgot, I forgot who he is. Almost like a pimple on my face, almost. But that's here nor there. We move on from that. Soldier GP says TBW management should invite us next season so we can show Titan what hardcore is all about.
I mean, maybe you'll actually maybe give me some competition because there isn't none after what I did to Joe Anderson.
Well, you know what? We'll certainly have to stay tuned. And Mr. Allen likes to say, and I sure as hell don't need a catchphrase or a slogan to be relevant. I want to say hello to actually the man I'm wearing a shirt of right now, the first real wrestler. He is one half of the XCW Tag Team Champions. He's the third member of our Sportswire Hall of Fame, Mr. Justin Parsley. The Joshes have entertained working together. I think he's breaking the fourth wall, sort of. It was kind of confirmed on Sportswire by both camps, Mr. Allen and certainly Mr. Fletcher. But if your lights cut out, would you leave the sunglasses on?
Yeah, I would.
You would?
Yeah,
and he also wants to know, before I come back to Soldier, have you had a real hardcore match yet? In parentheses, real REEL.
Okay, yeah, for sure.
You had the triple threat match.
I've had like three. I've had three.
You had the triple threat with Jacob Young and Joe Anderson, and then you had the match with Joe Anderson separately.
And then I did face Russell Cooper.
Well, I was going to save that because that was an outcome that we certainly wanted to maybe glance over. I was trying to put the positives out first, because you always say you want to make your guests look good. Just saying.
Right.
Soldier GP, though, would like to say, Commissioner Beast, get in contact with IMF management and bring in the greatest faction of all wrestling in the foundation. I mean, they're in XCW right now. I would say this, though. They're in XCW, and Justin Parsley and Rob Slater, they're tag team champions. Omen Black and Soldier GP did quite a number on them, and we're going to find out what happens in episode 11 of Encounters. Tag team title match, tornado match. We're going to see no DQ between Soldier GP, Omen Black, and Slater and Parsley. So that's a cheap plug to go to Encounters, episode 11, XCW Shelbyville. If that would be, maybe one day Mr. Fletcher and Mr. Allen could talk about the foundation coming into TBW, because it's technically foundation or XCW. They're XCW talent. So that could be something for Mr. Parsley to ask Mr. Fletcher about, those coming in and working with TBW from XCW. I'm just saying.
I might just have to show up to XCW.
They're in Indiana. Tennessee to Indiana is not too far.
Yeah, it's about 3 hours.
Yeah, it's not that far. There's a lot of big names in XCW and TBW. There's a lot of history. There's a lot of similarities. There's a lot of respect. These are two of the gold standard companies in this sport, and I think a lot of people might want to see that. Mr. Silvestri wants to say this. I'll still give you credit, Titan. That match against Joe Anderson was great, but I will not call you a king. I agree it was a great match. It was a damn great match. And Jules wants to say that she would like to meet the Atomic Titan and D'Angelo the Flame, but you're a busy man. You've obviously got to worry about, maybe your next moves, the future. But, speaking of people, and Jules, obviously, maybe you never know. You never know what the future.
Everyone wants to meet the Hardcore King, Tom.
You never know, Jules. You just never know, Jules. You never know. You keep your fingers crossed, and just maybe you might get one day your lucky day to be made in meeting the Atomic Titan. So stay tuned. Never say never. But speaking of people I referenced, the hardcore guy, it is his show after all. He's in the Sportswire Radio Hall of Fame. He's the IMF Hardcore Champion, and Omen Black is here. Would you like me to bring him up and address his comments to you?
Yeah, bring him up.
Sure. Hey, Titan, normally I tell people they are welcome to my show, but your creeper, mustache, and turtleneck are not welcome.
Do not disrespect the turtleneck for the last time. I've done told you that. And it's my show tonight. I'll give it back to you after tonight.
Well, I got an announcement for you. And I got a few announcements of upcoming Sportswire Radio guests, so stay tuned for that. In fact, one guest that actually, it seemed like you might want to work with on yesterday's show, and it's not Jack Delta, so stay tuned for that. We can set it up. I have no problem meeting my lovely people. I think he's talking to Jules. All I can say right now about the assistant GM is that they will be in resurrection to restore the order to the company.
Good, they need it.
Well, you know what? Listen, they got Jimmy Controversy running
Yeah.
wild. They got the West Memphis Kid Ronnie Brady running wild. They got Dustin Alexander. They got Drake Golddragon. They got Jacoby's back. I mean, you got a whole list of people that, we didn't even mention Mac 10. We didn't even mention Mikey Anarchy. I mean, you got a whole list of stars. That, you got Austin Prince. We saw him on TBW. There's a lot of people. D'Angelo LaFlame. Neff is going to have his final match. So,
yeah.
We'll talk all about that on Monday's show. Mr. Black wants to say Parsley. I'll answer for him. He doesn't know what hardcore really is.
I know what hardcore is, and if you don't think if I know, then I'll show you what it is because I've been through it. My body, it literally is split open, skin torn off my back.
I think your body is similar to what Mikey Anarchy showed us last week in your chair, where he basically turned around and his back, you could basically connect the dots. After what you went through with the Grim Reaper Joe Anderson, I mean, your body, listen, that's why you have the turtleneck on. That's why you have the trench coat on, because the scars, the cuts, the damage your body has gone through, over these past few matches. I would wish no man on that. Listen, I saw Jimmy Controversy the other day basically take almost like a syringe and cut open Hardcore's mouth. I don't even think I would wish that on anybody, but after what your body's been put through, I know that's why you're wearing that trench coat. I know that's why you're wearing that turtleneck, because what your body has been put through by the Grim Reaper Joe Anderson, not once but twice, and even Jacob Young. That's why you are wearing this, because your body has to heal. Because like I said, Jimmy Controversy and Hardcore, they put themselves through the ringer at the TF Cruz North Haven Massacre, but pales into comparison what we saw this weekend at TBW Season Finale 7 as we went Hollywood after what Joe Anderson did to you.
Yeah, my body is it's hurting. And that's what people don't understand. That's why they need to respect what I do. And respect what I do for this hardcore division. You know what I said? Anybody that has a hardcore championship, they should name me as the hardcore champion. Because what
do
I
you
would
think
do
that? Do you think that? You know what? Do you think though that you are the true hardcore champion of this sport? There's a lot of hardcore champions.
Backyard professional wrestling, indie wrestling, whatever you want to call it. I'm the true hardcore king, hardcore god, hardcore champion of wrestling. And people need to come to terms with that.
I have an announcement for you, but I want to read off a few more comments before I do that. Maybe we'll even invite some guests that want to come on and maybe
come on.
Say hello. I might actually do that. So stay tuned. Let me read off a few comments. Let me get to a couple of announcements here. Steven Silvestri says, starting with the Beast Academy. Okay, I tell you what, interesting. D'Angelo LaFlame would mind going to Indiana. Well, you need to go and contact Josh Fletcher. You do that on Facebook. Josh Fletcher, you tell him Tom Bryce sent you, and you go and follow XCW Shelbyville on Facebook, and you tell him I sent you. Justin Parsley certainly can give a good voucher for an endorsement. Would be an honor to watch D'Angelo in action live. Lots of terrific talent in here, like only there can be on Sportswire. And by the way, cheap plug, you can check us out anytime, past, present, and future shows at Sportswire Radio, 6579 Backspace Streams. If you haven't yet subscribed, go do so. But I have many more comments before I get to my announcement. Maybe start inviting some people on to basically respect you. Oh, wow. Some boo-boos for the owner to slap on some Band-Aids for you. The only question is, little buddy, are they Hello Kitty or Dora the Explorer Band-Aids?
Hey, don't disrespect me.
Yeah.
It can be any kind of Band-Aid. It can. But I see how disrespectful you want to be, Omen Black. If you step in the ring with me, I'll show you I'm the true hardcore king.
I guess maybe what he's trying to say is at the IMF's Winter Class show, when he defeated the Saint, Damian Sieve, and then he wound up defeating Matthew Forsaken. Matthew Forsaken's body looked like, well, it certainly was a colorful body, and he's trying to say that your body maybe wasn't as colorful as Matthew Forsaken's.
No. I don't agree with that.
All right.
I'd like to see. I'd like to. I haven't seen a picture of this guy that you're talking
Understood.
about.
Understood. I understand. Let me though say a few more things. I appreciate that Justin. I'll make it happen. Let me know where you're at. Yes, definitely Justin Parsley. Check him out. Parsley's on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Definitely give him a follow. In fact, D'Angelo, go on my Instagram page right now at the Sports Report 2021. Justin and I actually have a reel together, actually, because I let Justin actually go and use my account to put reels out there. So thank you, Justin. Thank you, D'Angelo. Now he's stealing my name as the hardcore god. I'm gonna get to that. Omen, he drank his own Kool-Aid so much he believes his own hype. And Soldier GP says, Omen, you hear this chump. He's certainly referring to you. But before before I just maybe let some guests come on to maybe respect you and acknowledge you, the Atomic Titan, I thought after, yesterday, we had Jack Delta on, and, we named yesterday Jack Delta Day on all Sportswire radio platforms. And today we had our very good friends over at Cutlery Championship Wrestling in the UK. And we decided that the month of January, the entire month should be CCW month, basically acknowledging all the great things they've done in wrestling and making all wrestling matters their hashtag and everything they've done for us here on this station. But, considering everything that you've done to represent hardcore wrestling and in deathmatch wrestling, and after what you did in disposing the Grim Reaper Joe Anderson, showing that you are true to your word, and you are the real deal, the hardcore king, I've decided here on behalf of those listening and watching on Sportswire Radio, the Atomic Titan, the only Grand Slam winner in TBW history, now a hardcore king, that you are now officially the hardcore king of Sportswire Radio. Congratulations.
Yes, that is such an honor. Now, all you people watching, you can say I am the hardcore king of Sportswire Radio or of wrestling. Thank you, Tom, for this award, for this appreciation for your hardcore king. This means the world to me because finally someone wants to respect me and give me that honor that I deserve, that I've been fighting for so long. So I appreciate you.
Listen, what you've gone through, and everything that's been put through you, literally through you, to keep that TBW Hardcore Championship. Like I said, Jimmy Controversy came on here not once but twice. We've had Mac 10 on not once but twice. Both men you shared a locker room with. Mikey Anarchy last week. Obey. Hardcore. Maybe even Omen Black and Soldier GP. And how about that other guy coming on next week in Dustin Alexander? But none of them have had to go through what you've went through to be the only Grand Slam winner in TBW history and the hardcore king. And that's why we acknowledge you as the hardcore king of Sportswire Radio.
Yeah, respect your hardcore king, everybody watching. Now you can call me the hardcore king of Sportswire Radio.
Maybe you let Commissioner Beast put that down on the championship. Maybe he can find a way to kind of emblem that. But we are here right now with the Atomic Titan. And if you want to follow him, you can do so on Instagram and TikTok at Atomic Titan. My name is the Reverend Tom Bryce, your voice of all wrestling, where all wrestling matters here on Sportswire Radio. And we have more coverage coming up here this week. And get this, tomorrow night, in your chair, the Atomic Titan, to be honored and recognized as the first member of the second class in the Sportswire Radio Hall of Fame, the EBW leader, the XCW Hall of Famer and legend, Chris Jones, is live at 9 o'clock Eastern Time. He's going to talk about his match at Cold Day in Hell to try to reclaim for EBW that XCW championship against ADT. He's going to be here also to take his place in history and talk about Joshua Fletcher. Talk about the future of XCW and EBW and everything else in between in a bag of chips. You can follow XCW on all platforms, especially XCW Shelbyville, XC Wrestling 1 on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Twitter, all of that. And also check them out on their website. And Thursday, I'm going to be here also with an interesting show. I'm going to have a amputee coach, Paige Palazzo. She's a legendary female soccer player coach. She actually coaches the USA national team for amputees. She's going to talk about that here in her journey into that world. Excited about that. but we're not done on Sportswire Radio. No. Not done at all, because we have coming up here this weekend. That's right, this weekend. I got back-to-back big shows. And, Atomic Titan, I promised you I was going to announce somebody that sort of, I guess you might say, saw eye to eye with you yesterday, 8 o'clock Eastern time. He makes his long-awaited return to Sportswire Radio after he called out Jack Delta, the destructive one, Jack Delta, who certainly had a few things to say about you, and that is ADT. The brand new AWL NEW champion is live on Sportswire Radio, makes his return to the platform in over 4 months. He has a lot to say. He's talking a lot about Jack Delta. He might even respect you and acknowledge you to be the hardcore king of Sportswire Radio. ADT is live to talk all things related to Jack Delta, Alliance Wrestling League, plus much, much more. And again, Sunday night to be announced later this week for a time. IMF, especially all the stars you're going to see at New Year's Vengeance. Next weekend, Omen and Soldier are going to be here live. It's going to be one you won't want to miss. It's Omen's show after all. He's going to have a lot to say. But right now, we are here with our hardcore king of Sportswire Radio, the Atomic Titan. Let me get to some more comments here, because I got a lot of people that want to talk to you. I might even want to bring on some guests. So if you're
bring on anybody.
Yeah, and if you're real quick, and if your name was dropped on Sportswire Radio, if your name was dropped here so far in the first half of the show, if you want to come on, let me know. Message me on Facebook. Hit me up on Instagram at the Sports Report 2021. I will send you that link right away. Soldier GP, the popular heel launcher, says he wrestles as well as the Panthers play football. Ooh, that's not fair.
The disrespect. The Panthers do suck, but, I'm not the Panthers.
In fact, the Panthers suck so much. They suck so much. They don't even have the number one pick this year because there's stupidity in trades. That really does suck. That really does suck. But Titan D'Angelo come to New York City. Well, you know what? Never say never. Listen, never say never. You never say never. You might need to. You might need to after all. Name a promotion in NYC, and I'll see if I can make some shake. House of Glory, message my buddy Chris Urban on Facebook. I'm going to name drop him, Chris Urban on Facebook. Tell him I sent you. I want to say hello to my buddy, Mr. Ace Reed of the Wired Up podcast. How you doing there? I think you've been on his platform. He's the BWU champion, part of the Backyard Wrestling Nexus. How are you? She'll look into it. Perfect. All right. So obviously, we certainly acknowledge you. We've certainly respected you as the hardcore king. And, maybe we'll see if a few people would like to come on and certainly voice their opinions. But I do want to ask you, though, in all seriousness, I mean, what do you think, though, about Commissioner Beast? Obviously, we saw that the ending of season finale 7, Russell Cooper is our world champion. He cashed in on the Nature Boy Gage Flair. Mr. Woo Man is not a double champion after all. We saw what happened. Russell Cooper cashed it after Commissioner Beast and the Prophet J. Wild made this rather, I guess, sacrimonious deal, and certainly one that I don't even think you saw coming. So, I mean, what do you think is the future then here of Commissioner Beast?
I think Beast has, he's got someone in his mind. Obviously, Jay Wild's in his mind. He wants to build this family. The past of Beast, he's, he wears that mask. I don't know if you've seen the older episodes.
Yes, I have.
Like the anonymous mask. Yeah, I believe that darkness there is with inside him, and it's overtaking him again. But Jay Wild has a lot to do with it, and you'll have to just wait and see what's going to play out in season 8 with Beast. But I don't want to be disrespected by him ever again. He turned to the dark side, but it's whatever. With what he's doing. But it was a crazy ending. I didn't even expect it. So,
and what's your thoughts on Russell Cooper cashing in on the Nature Boy Gage Flair, Mr. Woo Man? You were in the ring with him a few short weeks ago. I mean, what do you think of that?
I respect Russell Cooper. Good competitor.
Absolutely.
He gave it his all against me, and despite Joe Anderson, doing what he did, I respect him. He had the briefcase after that hard-fought match that we had, even though in the beginning we had some words that he said he might have cashed in on me earlier that night. But, him cashing in, that was a great moment. And I can't wait to see what he's going to do as world champion. And if me and him ever cross paths, champion versus champion, that'll be a heck of a match. and I
And that would
gladly do it.
and that would be able to kind of further solidify your legacy of not
Yeah.
only being the hardcore king, but the king of all wrestling by holding not one but two championships in TBW and maybe giving some prestige finally back to that TBW World Heavyweight Championship, I'd have to think.
Yep. I could be a double champion. I mean, Gage Flair just did it, but he got cashed in on. So
Yeah,
I'm waiting
he's
to see how the story plays out.
so
And if
would
I
it be smart for me to say that maybe you should kind of let Commissioner Beast kind of deal with what he's going to have to deal with in terms of Johnny J, the Nature Boy Gage Flair, and you could maybe kind of stay low, wait by the side almost, and maybe see if you could pick up another title against Russell Cooper, and again bring back some prestige possibly to that TBW World Championship.
Oh yeah, it definitely needs it. And I'll gladly face Russell Cooper for his championship.
You know,
Both championships on the line.
yeah. Well, you know what? What if I were to bring up a comment, actually, of somebody that's a current world champion? Justin Parsley referenced the fact that the Joshes have had a conversation, right? We're talking Mr. Allen and Mr. Fletcher, right? And
Yeah.
this person I would bring up, you probably have never met face to face. And he's obviously somebody that's going to be a big topic tomorrow night, 9 o'clock Eastern time, when Chris Jones comes back to Sportswire Radio to be inducted in our Hall of Fame. And I'm talking about none other than the XCW champion of the world, ACT, who, oh, by the way, defeated Jackson Lord not too long ago. Man, you know very, very well the well-traveled Jackson Lord. In fact, ACT's been so successful of late, he defeated one guy to retain his XCW championship that the guy basically, he left. He basically couldn't cut the mustard and couldn't hang in XCW anymore. So that's how good ACT has been, and he wants to say that he thinks he's the hardcore king, and he
You're
doubts
not.
he's ever been in a cage match. In fact, he won his world heavyweight title in a cage match. So what do you say, though, about the XCW champion ACT introducing himself to you for the first time, and what is that all about?
Well, it's good to meet you, but I'm the true hardcore king. Yeah, you might have been in a cage match, but that doesn't prove you're hardcore enough. I'm the true hardcore king. Look at the award I just got from Tom Bryce right here. I'm the hardcore king. It's nice to meet you, but at the end of the day, you're not as hardcore as me, and nobody ever will be that's watching this or will watch this or ever step in the ring with me. So we may cross paths one day. That might happen, but until that day, just remember who the hardcore king
But
really is.
though, let me ask you a serious question for a second. Obviously, yes,
Okay.
you're a hardcore king. We respect you. Yes, we acknowledge you. We done all that, right? But
Mhm.
don't you think, though, since we know that there's been for the first time ever, breaking the fourth wall,
Mhm.
a conversation between Mr. Fletcher and Mr. Allen? Who knows what they said? Who knows what happens? I don't know what the future is. I'm not in that conversation. You're not in that conversation. I can only speculate, though. But with a guy like ACT, right, who's the reigning defending XCW champion, a company that is the gold standard of this sport, TBW, the most known promotion in this sport, I think a lot of people would say, you know what, a dream match might be the only Grand Slam champion in the TBW history, and our hardcore king, the Atomic Titan, the current hardcore champion, and the current XCW champion of the world, who has defeated some of the biggest talents in this sport, pound for pound.
Mhm.
A lot of people would love to see that as a dream match, almost in a way like we were denied all those years in their prime of Flair versus Hogan. In a way, you guys are both in the primes of your careers. A lot of people might want to see the Atomic Titan and ACT. I'm just saying.
Well, let's make it happen then. If there's conversations, I'm in Tennessee or in Indiana. I could come there. You could come here. XCW. I'm down.
Well, you know what? I'll certainly let those individuals in the
Yeah.
business, in the boardrooms, certainly handle that. That's obviously Mr. Allen and Mr. Fletcher. Who knows? My boy ACT is the hardcore king. Well, he certainly has proven a lot in XCW, but the Atomic Titan has shown he's the hardcore king of this sport over, again, the likes of Jimmy Controversy, Mac 10, Hardcore, Obey, Mikey Anarchy, certainly Justin Alexander, and maybe even the likes of Omen Black and Soldier GP. I got more comments though. Speaking of people that may want to match with you, Drake Dragon says he wants a match.
Well, whenever we can make it happen.
Well, that's up to Resurrection in TBW.
Yeah.
What else do you want me to say? I don't know what else I could say. I mean, I don't know.
I mean, I would gladly face him. I mean, I seen what he did at season finale. It was a great match.
And I, by the way, if you don't mind, I want to commend Resurrection Wrestling, because Resurrection Wrestling has done a great job in terms of the matches they've put on, and also working with places like TBW. Obviously, TBW was featured heavily on the Resurrection Fallout show, and I'm sure stay tuned for more information on Lockdown what's to come. But Resurrection just is, to me, one of the places to be. And I want to give a big shout out to Joseph Tibbs, our co-owner and general manager. And I'm very, very excited about Resurrection coverage coming back to Sportswire later this week, starting on Monday next week. So that's a great point. And certainly Resurrection is very, very much a place we love on Sportswire. Smart cash in by Russell Cooper. You agree with that?
Yeah, I mean, that was the moment. Gage Flair was down after that attack. That's what I would have done. I mean, I have done it.
I'm aware of that. So, but then doesn't that technically? Let me ask you though a question on that about Russell Cooper, since you actually wrestled him the prior show at 156, if I'm not mistaken, you wrestled him. Doesn't that technically kind of in a way and get you first dibs, almost first rights, because you were the last one in the ring to have, before season finale, have had a match with Russell Cooper? Does that kind of qualify for you, or maybe does that put you right at the top of the list automatically?
Yeah, I believe so, and I believe I'm the last person to actually beat him too. A few like 151 or something, episode 151. Yeah.
It's funny because there's been so many, and this is a good thing. XCW and TBW very much have the same problem. There's so many episodes that I'm always like, okay, what number again? That's what I mentioned. Like with XCW and TBW, TBW's got so many episodes. XCW's got so many shows. I think even Jackson kind of referenced this on his spot on Sunday. I have to remember all of them, so that's actually a good thing. So yeah, I was like, is it 151? Is it 156? I think it was 156 the last show where you would Russell Russ. I think you beat him in 151, but I'm sure somebody will fact check me and said, no, not so fast. D'Angelo Flame says, we making moves, forever promoting the business. Yes, I agree with all of you on that. But let me ask you some questions. Obviously, maybe people don't want to talk to you. Maybe they've decided that, you know what, they look at you and they say, you know what, you are the hardcore king after all. And maybe they just, they don't want a piece of you anymore. Maybe, you know what, they said, you know what, I can't deal with him. I can't hang with him. He's the true hardcore king. He's the true hardcore guy in this spot. I saw what Joe Anderson did to him. I saw what Jacob Young did to him. You know what? I can't hang with the Atomic Titan. So let me ask you then this question. If people want to change their mind, hey, we'll hang out for a little while longer. But what are your goals for 2024?
My goals, always say this, prove people wrong. Make people hate me. Keep this championship.
Why do you think people hate you, though? Why do you think people hate you?
It's because maybe they're jealous. Maybe they want to be me. Maybe it's because I keep saying I'm the hardcore king, which I am. I mean,
hey, you got the belt. You got the belt of a company that has 6,100 plus subscribers. You're the one that has a championship you successfully retained in a show that had over 2,500 views in only 3 days. Find me a champion in this sport that can say the same thing. I'm waiting.
They want this title. I know what it is.
And listen, you know what? Not for nothing. I know you shared a locker room, especially with Jimmy Controversy, but Jimmy Controversy's running away from everybody. Last I saw, he was running away from Mikey Anarchy. Last I saw, he was running away from Hardcore. He didn't want to defend his title with Mac 10. So at the end of the day, Jimmy Controversy definitely wants no piece of you. Mikey Anarchy, he's trying to reclaim one of his titles back in the UWF. So you know that he's going to be occupied. Mac 10's got his own issues because he's dealing personally
Yeah.
with anarchy and controversy. Hardcore, well, you know what? He's probably still taking out the syringe needle out of his lip after what controversy put him through. Obey's definitely, he knows he wants no part of you. And Omen Black and Soldier GP, I mean, they're obviously focused on New Year's vengeance.
Mm-hmm.
And Dustin Alexander, I mean, listen, Dustin Alexander knows at the end of the day, he can't compete with you. So what this all means is that there is no competition left for you. You are the hardcore king, and you should really, you're on top right now. You're on top of the mountain. There's nobody in hardcore. Listen, Tarzan Duran, he's no match for you. Even Tarzan Duran would be no match for you. I mean, listen, Dirty Ron, forget about Dirty Ron. Forget about him. Listen, Grim himself couldn't take you down. At the end of the day, there's nobody in this sport right now that can call and topple the hardcore king, which you are, the Atomic Titan.
I appreciate that. I really do. And that means a lot. I just do what I do. I go out there and, I'm trying to prove to everybody that I'm hardcore. That's why I tried to do a season finale, which I hope I did. And that's why
I think you did. No, listen, I think that you did. I think that you showed that, you're the hardcore king. That listen, nobody in this sport can touch you. Listen, Jack Delta came on yesterday. We love Jack Delta on Sports, right? We love Jack Delta here. It's Jack Delta Day, and we're so happy to have Jack Delta back. But he was in TBW once upon a time. But I think Mr. Delta in a hardcore match, I think he would have some serious thoughts about not going with you. I think he would certainly say, you know what, hardcore match. I don't know if the Atomic Titan with the state that he's in right now, the run that he's on, maybe I don't know if I want that kind of match. I would even think Jack Delta might reconsider. I mean, CJ Black, the good guy, right? He won. Yeah. He retained his world title. So at the end of the day, you name somebody in this sport, who's beating you?
There's been nobody. I seen Jack Delta. He competed in a hardcore match. I think it was for WCEF.
Yes,
a couple months ago. I mean, I can see he can go in hardcore if he wants to, come back to Tennessee, or maybe possibly I go to ROEW or somewhere like that.
XCW, certainly. XCW.
Take him on, maybe defend my title against him. I'm looking to get a win over Jack Delta because he,
And Mr. Delta, by the way, is the XCW New Age champion, and we know if Mr. Fletcher and Mr. Allen broke bread, XCW, TBW, certainly, and there's history between you and Delta, so there's a lot of history there. I'm just saying, I don't know.
I got that title from him.
And you know what? That's certainly something. If he's lucky enough to retain his title against Jesse Justice next week in Encounters, maybe that could be the hardcore king and the destructive one, and that'll be so destructive and so hardcore that we'll never see the remnants of the ring afterwards. Let me say hello to a few other people. I want to say hello to the Alliance Wrestling, because we mentioned ADT, a guy that kind of saw the way things that you do. He's going to be here, makes his return to Sportswire after a 4-month hiatus. He's going to be here 8 o'clock Saturday. He's going to talk about all things related to the AWL. He's going to address Jason Storm, the wild card. He's going to address Christopher James. He's going to address Tyson Gates. He's going to address his own group. And he's even going to address the destructive Jack Delta's comments last night in Sportswire. You are not going to want to miss this one. And ADT has claimed that BYW should be ADT, not the other way for Backyard Wrestling. The acronym for Backyard Wrestling shouldn't be BYW, it should be ADT. That's what he's saying. So, we're going to find it out Saturday night here. But Big Tex wants to say, though, that I know one person who is Nick Gage. But I think Nick Gage is busy right now. Nick Gage, he doesn't want the Atomic Titan these days.
He don't want me. He don't want to.
He doesn't want. And you know who definitely doesn't want you? You know who really doesn't want you? One name I didn't mention. I know he's definitely not hardcore, right? You know who doesn't want you?
Who?
The 5th member of the Sportswire Radio Hall of Fame, Joshua Allen. Mr. Allen, he would never want you in a hardcore match. Forget about it. It'd be too emotional. He might break down, you think?
Yeah, he might cry coming to the ring once again. He needs some tissues. But, yeah, Joshua Allen wouldn't be able to,
Do you think he screams and yells your name and sleep and he goes, Titan! Titan! Titan!
Yeah, he's probably dreaming about me. That's what he probably sits there and thinks about me
No,
all
it's
day. And
not
does not fall
dreams, it's
asleep.
nightmares. It's nightmares of the fact that you're on top. You're the hardcore king, not only of TBW, but of the sport. Some may say that. I'm not saying it's my opinion 100%, but there's some people that might think that Mr. Allen could maybe have nightmares of you.
Yeah, possibly. And there's no chance like whatever what he's gonna do next season that he's gonna come for this or come for me because I'll put him down once again. I wish I could say this to his face, honestly, because
Yeah, I
I'm
think
sick and
people
tired.
tonight they seem to be quiet about you. They seem to be more or
Nobody
less.
wants nobody wants to come on here and respect me. They don't want to come on here and show the appreciation. They don't want to come on here and talk because they're scared. That's what it is.
Because like I said, when I ran through the list of names,
There's
that are
nobody.
hardcore in this sport, they just can't. They can't accomplish or topple what you've done. I mean, just the facts are the facts tonight. I think that's what it is. It's just that they know that they can't hang with the Atomic Titan. They can't do what you did. What you did in going through the Grim Reaper Joe Anderson. And even what you did to Russell Cooper, who's the reigning defending TBW champion. I mean,
And we
they
haven't even seen Jacob Young since that match, I
well,
believe.
Jacob Young is probably saying one thing, then another thing, and then trying to contradict himself, and we still don't know anything in between that. So I want to
I
just say
know.
for Jacob Young, that's exactly I think the Jacob Young situation. So I'm going to let that be, let that lie. But I know one thing: all the supposed big hardcore deathmatch champions and the guys that are the pros in the hardcore deathmatch scene, I think they saw at season finale, they've seen what you've said tonight. They said, you know what? Nah, I don't think I could hang with the Atomic Titan. I don't think I could go with him. I just don't think after what you put your body through to keep the most valued prize in this sport, they're not hardcore enough compared to you. No way.
For sure. For sure. You're right. They're not hardcore enough. They're not what I am. So
I would even call, you know what? Commissioner Beast used the word soft core as we're speaking here with the Atomic Titan,
I'm
of
not
course,
soft
who's the
core.
hardcore kid. And I was going to say that. Maybe they're the ones some would say would be soft core.
Yeah, they
Maybe.
are. And you know what, Tom? I want to announce here that I want to do a death match here on Sportswire. I want to do
Yeah.
a death. I want to be in a death match. Yeah, I want to prove people wrong. So whoever wants a death match with Atomic Titan, hit me up. I've been wanting to do a death match.
I don't think, though. You know what? I don't think, though, that those names, Jimmy Controversy does not want a death match with you.
I would gladly go against Jimmy Controversy if he actually has the balls to,
I don't think he
answer
does,
me.
though. I don't think Jimmy Controversy would want to go up against you. I just don't. I don't see that he would want. He would want to. I don't see Hardcore would want to go up against you in a death match. Mikey Anarchy definitely doesn't. Mac 10, you shared a locker room with him. Mac 10, he's going to be drinking too much Mountain Dew. He knows that he's going to be drunk on Mountain Dew. He's not going to go in a death match against you. Obey? Forget about him. No way. Dustin Alexander.
He's not the real hardcore champion of Tennessee. I am. I know he wants to keep saying all this, but yeah. I'm going to prove him wrong.
I'm going to ask him those questions next Thursday, but I can almost be assured that nobody would want to be in a death match against you. Nobody. I mean,
probably not.
Maybe you could just say, well, maybe that's why, you know what? You've shown what you've done here in a short amount of time is that's why you are our hardcore king. But I have some more comments. Certainly, Mr. Big Tech says, where's my boy Hardcore? Well, Hardcore is not here.
Not here, no.
Here. Soldier GP wants to say, we ain't scared. You're just causing us to fall asleep. Your voice is like listening to
the disrespect. Again, Soldier GP.
Have you heard that before? That somebody said your voice is like Ben Stein? I don't know if I've had you on how many times have you come on this? Like 6, 7 times over the last year?
Yeah,
I never thought Ben Stein. I've known you now for what, 10 months, 11 months? I feel like you don't sound like Ben Stein. Maybe Mr. Allen's voice puts people to sleep. By the way, Soldier GP, apparently, he says he would accept a death match against you.
All right, well,
do you think that he would have to contact on behalf of his promoter, Mr. Josh Fletcher, to maybe speak quote unquote to Mr. Allen to make that happen? Because obviously Soldier GP works for XCW. He also does work for XCW. We know XCW.
Yeah, it could happen at XCW or IMF.
Oh, so you would travel to the IMF? You would.
Yeah, I would definitely go to Iowa to have a death match. I've been looking for that. I've been wanting to do one, so yeah.
Well, I mean, I'm sure XPW's been knocking on your door. UWF's been knocking on your door. Grimm's Toy Shop. Why IMF then?
Well, I mean, these two clowns, Omen Black.
Are you sure to call them clowns? You know, I like you, right? Obviously, you're a hardcore king of sports by radio, but are you sure you want to call Omen and Soldier clowns? From what I've seen, there was this guy, Craven Rage, who was basically kind of like a D-level Roman Reigns, and in fact, this guy Craven Rage, Omen Black, scared him off so much he still won't face him. I've seen Omen Black and Soldier GP go head on to almost every person that's been on this platform, and I've seen what they did even to my guy Justin Parsley and Rob Slater. I've seen what they did to Jackson Law and ROBW. I mean, these guys, they're not clowns. Are you sure you want to call them clowns? I mean, I'm going to even stop there because I like you. I know these guys. They're in my Hall of Fame Moment in Soldier.
But you see, Tom, they keep wanting to disrespect me and say I'm not the hardcore king. So, you know, I want to prove it to them. So, I mean, I'm down for any type of match with them. I'm not scared. I've never been scared of anybody. I can look death right in the eyes and I wouldn't be scared.
Yeah.
So, you know.
Last rites wouldn't scare you then. Last rites, not at all, not an issue, right? You would look, you would look it in the eye and say, maybe next time, right?
Yep.
All right, you know what? Well, that's why we acknowledge you as the hardcore king of sports by radio. But
I tell it to respect me.
Well, Dirty Donnie wants to say clowns, huh? You know what it is, my man? 4 down hashtag. He's talking about obviously with those guys. We'll talk with them for sure. Coming up here. So just to make sure, before we get to closing thoughts and a few other things, you're not concerned about anybody else. You're not concerned. Everything you feel like that nobody can step to you.
I don't think there's nobody.
Do you think that Mr. Allen being very quiet tonight is a sign that he knows deep down that he can't hang with you and that he knows that at the end of the day that he'll never be able to, even if you wanted him to shine your boots or kiss your boots?
Yeah, you're right. I mean, he's been real quiet, so I don't think he's actually going to come on here and say anything. So,
you think it's going to be tough for him to show up next season in season 8 and know the fact that, you're still the hardcore king and know that you're the guy that's on the top in the top of the mountain, not only in TBW in this sport? You think that maybe he's reevaluating his plans of maybe showing up at season 8, you think, because of what he's seen from you against Joe Anderson, even what you've seen tonight from you?
Yeah, maybe he should just stay home, honestly, and not even show up to the arena. Because honestly, like if he shows up, it's going to be a big embarrassment for himself.
Maybe he'll think in a way that maybe he should part ways with TBW, kind of like the Titans and Mike Vrabel did, you think?
Yeah, maybe he should go maybe some other promotion or, maybe go create another fed.
Maybe WCE can use him. They could certainly find a way to help improve their product. Maybe he could be a creative consultant in the IMF. Maybe they can use him in the Alliance Wrestling League. Heck, maybe they can even use him as a consultant at XCW. Maybe Fletch is trying to buy out Mr. Allen's stake and have Allen come on as an XCW consultant. Maybe that's what it is tonight.
Maybe that's what it is.
Maybe maybe the plan is, you know what, before I get to comments and closing thoughts, maybe the real plan is when season 8 opens up, who knows, maybe it'll even be March 26th, and we'll see on that big TBW Jumbotron, and we'll be waiting for somebody to come out, and we'll see Joshua Fletcher come out there and say, you know what, he owns not only XCW, but now he owns TBW. I don't know.
Yeah, do the whole Vince McMahon. I bought TBW. Okay.
Maybe he'll say, you know what? Maybe he'll announce some names that are fine. Maybe to help you. Maybe he'll say, you know what? The Puerto Rican Nightmare, Manny Cobra, you're going to be Gone, gone. Maybe he's going to say to help you, Jacob Young, JACOBYOUNG sounds like JELLO. It's alive. You're no longer alive in TBW, and you're fired. Who knows? Maybe even Mr. Woo Man, the Nature Boy Gage Flair, maybe he's going to get a demotion. Maybe that's really what it is that, you know what? Mr. Fletcher is going to be the man in charge of I don't know. I have no idea at this point.
Anything can happen.
That's never say never. Never say never. Soldier GP says, listen, the only clown is sitting there wearing some Dollar General sunglasses and a Goodwill turtleneck.
He sounds like Josh because that's all Josh says. Dollar General or Wish.com or, you know how expensive this was? It was really expensive. I didn't get these from Dollar General.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong. That turtleneck had to cost, what, $300-$400?
Yeah, it was around like $350, I believe.
And those glasses, what'd they cost you, $500?
Yep. You're right.
$500.
They're not from Dollar General. I definitely didn't get them from there.
So obviously, you're spending like a champion. In fact, as a matter of fact, you're spending more like the Nature Boy Gage Flair should be. I mean, you're the one that's dressing like a champion now. We used to see you in a past life in a different name, but now we see you. You really have dressed Hollywood. A comment was addressed towards you yesterday about you basically being as Southern as everybody else, but no, you're from Hollywood, really. You're dressing very, very Hollywood-like now. Very, very aristocratic. Very, certainly the champion that you are like, and, maybe you're spending now like a champion.
Yeah, I mean, season finale Hollywood, it was my show because I am Hollywood Titan, if you want to call me that. That's my new nickname, if you want to call me that, because, I dress the part, I am the part, and I am Hollywood. That's
what? So maybe we should call you Hollywood Atomic Titan, the hardcore king? Hollywood Atomic Titan, really? So maybe, what? As the host of the Sports Report, the owner of Sportzwire Radio, the #1 global radio station, where all wrestling matters, the voice of wrestling, the Atomic Titan, we are now proclaiming you to be Hollywood Atomic Titan.
Hollywood Titan. That sounds perfect. For my name and the bright lights.
Just don't get those, clip-on, like, facial hair for us.
I won't do that.
I got a couple more comments. Let me run them off here. Soldier GP says, see you soon, hardcore chump.
See you soon, then.
Yeah. All right. Well, we'll see. Stay tuned. Big Tex wants to say, hey, Titan, grow a set and come find me. I'm not hard to find if you want to shut me up and now wants to be a rip-off Hollywood Rock. The music fits you, though. Dun, 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 dun. It does kind of got that Hollywood memory. Like that Hollywood theme. I know. It's got a little bit of it, a little bit. I guess we'll find out.
I'm not a Hollywood Rock. But I'll come find you. I mean, I'm not scared of anybody. That's what I said.
Well, you're the hardcore king, and like I said,
I'm the hardcore king.
Everybody that was name dropped tonight didn't want to come on. They didn't want to face you. Everybody tonight that was mentioned on Sportswire Radio, they didn't want to. They wanted no part because they know at the end. Well, before we get to closing thoughts, they know that you're the hardcore king of Sportswire Radio, and that's why they said, you know what? We'll move on. We'll certainly find something else to do. That maybe that was the slogan or the motto of tonight. Tonight was really a celebration. Maybe tonight was basically recognizing on Sportswire Radio that now Hollywood Titan is the true hardcore king of Sportswire Radio, is the true man to recognize when it comes to hardcore wrestling. The Hollywood Titan that he is has now shown on the biggest stage of them all that there's nobody out there that quote-unquote calls themselves hardcore wrestlers can topple what this man has done, and especially at season finale 7, Hollywood, against the Grim Reaper, Joe Anderson. That's why we were here to celebrate and congratulate you on a job well done.
And I appreciate that.
We appreciate you, and we certainly know that obviously we look forward to the future of you. And, maybe the next time you come on, I know we gave you this own certificate of recognition saying that you're the hardcore king of Sportswire Radio. But how about next month you come on and take your place into history in the Sportswire Radio Hall of Fame, and maybe in a way in the hardcore wing of Sportswire Radio history. You could lead that hardcore wing.
That would be an honor. I would appreciate that.
So how about this? In a few weeks, we bring you on right at the beginning of the month, and we induct you into the Sportswire Radio Hall of Fame as a part of our hardcore wing, because you're certainly hardcore. So, maybe you're hardcore. If we have a hardcore Hall of Fame, we'll just name it the Hardcore Hall of Fame. Hollywood Titan. So it's no longer Atomic Titan. You want to call him Hollywood Atomic Titan, that's fine too. But at the end of the day, for those that are listening and watching on Sportswire Radio, where all wrestling matters, he is now called Hollywood Titan because he has shown once and for all why he is the true hardcore king after successfully defending his hardcore championship at season finale 7 against the Grim Reaper Joe Anderson. We cannot wait to see what happens for the kickoff of season 8. Stay tuned for Tennessee Backyard Wrestling's YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook pages for more information. And yes, Jules, we're going to definitely make that happen. 2 thumbs up on that. But yes, the perfect Hall of Fame. But you know what? Maybe forget about the hardcore Hall of Fame. Maybe we should just call it the Hollywood Hall of Fame. You're Hollywood. Maybe we'll call it in the Sportswire Radio Hall of Fame, inducting in the first wing of our Hollywood Hall of Fame, Hollywood Titan. Maybe that's what we're gonna do. You know what? You'll be the first member of our Hollywood wing here. But you know what? Before I was gonna actually go, looks like somebody after all that. You know what? They've had enough. And they want to say something. Would you like me to bring somebody on here?
Yeah, bring them on. I want to see who it is.
All right, so I'm not going to tell you.
All right. Well, oh, gosh.
Are you done? Are you finished with your big, egotistical little mouth? I've been listening to this for an hour and 2, and I'm about to throw up. I'm really about to upchuck. You think I'm gonna miss a chance to confront you? You want to call me a crybaby because I had emotion when I returned back to the center stage of TBW? Yeah, I cried. You got a problem with that? You look.
Yeah, you need tissues, baby. You need a pacifier and some diapers. Oh,
real cute. Look, I don't respect you. Look, I don't respect you. I never have respected you. You know what? I'll take that back. Maybe at a point in time I did when we ran together as friends, but now
3 years.
Yeah, a few years. Run together now. We could run together. But
have you lost your mind? Are you out of your ever?
I'm not. I'm speaking the truth. That's what.
You gotta have a. You gotta have a mind to lose one. Clearly, you don't have one. But nonetheless, you have been called yourself a hardcore king, hardcore god for what, weeks? It was a month or 2.
I said that right after I won the championship, and it's very true.
Look,
it eats you up inside that I am the best since day one. Not you, not Andrew Clay, not Fat Asian, not Little Mike, not Redneck Mayhem, not Gage Flair, not Beast, not Jay Wild, not Joe Anderson, Jacob Young, nobody.
Manny Cobra, forget about him.
Long list. There's a lot of people.
Guys that can't run anymore into TBW. James Taylor, I don't think he could hang.
Not James Taylor. Not anybody
that. Alan Michaels, no more. Can't hang.
And I'm the biggest star you got. You're the owner, the founder. I'm the biggest star. You pay me the most money. It's because I'm your top draw. I'm your main event. I'm the guy that you come to when you want, people to actually watch and tune in.
You've claimed to have been the guy for 7, almost long years now. And if you're the top guy, if you was the top guy, you wouldn't have failed that story now, would you? You wouldn't
the
have
story's
failed then,
still
did
going
you?
on. What are you talking about?
No, you know what I'm talking. You had a little slump in the road, and then all of a sudden you come. Then you get a shot at the hardcore title, and then Beast injects Young in there, which I still find that ridiculous. It should have been 1-on-1 in my opinion. But nonetheless, that's history. It's in the history books. Yeah, you got the hardcore belt, but here's my question: how long are you going to keep it, champ? That's my question. How long are you
Have
going to
I
hold that
lost it
thing?
yet? There's no
How,
challengers.
Well, I mean, Manny Cobra's back. I mean, I don't know, and I still don't know what the heck is going on with Beast. I have no
The Beast
ever lived.
situation, I mean, that's the most, I don't know if I've seen anything like this before. That's the most bizarre situation, Mr. Allen, that I've seen in any storyline, anything I cover. I cover, as you know, like, 80 promotions. I think that's the most bizarre story. I mean, I don't even know where to start and where to end with Commissioner Beast right now. I have no idea.
I don't know where to even begin with that investigation. I don't know what in the world Jay Wild has done to this, but and also congratulations to Russell Cooper for the big new worldwide champion cashing in his moment, his ticket.
Minute. Wait, hold on. So you're gonna congratulate him, but not me? That's funny.
What, you jealous? Like if you had the world title, you'd be gloating for weeks.
I'm still gloating. I have this. This is my world championship. I don't need the world championship.
It doesn't say world champion, asswipe. It says hardcore.
I make this the most prestigious thing.
Mr. Allen, let me ask you
about that title.
Mr. Allen, let me ask you a question. Obviously, you're certainly the man behind TBW. You are certainly one of the greatest visionaries. You're in our Hall of Fame. But, do you agree? Yes, and we love you, of course, and we're going to have an announcement for TBW in the coming months. I actually want to do something special for TBW. We'll talk about that off the air. But, I mentioned a lot of names in this sport that are hardcore, quote-unquote, wrestlers. And the common theme with almost all of them is that they haven't done with what the Atomic Titan has done recently. I mean, you guys have shared a locker room with Sergeant Jimmy Controversy. You guys have shared a locker room with Mac 10. You guys have definitely shared a locker room with Dustin Alexander. But the Atomic Titan is the one that's here. And those names, I rattled off a lot of names. The Atomic Titan said after he beat Joe Anderson, bring it on to anyone. We were expecting a slew of hardcore stars to come on to Sportswire Radio and have a friendly chat, maybe a hardcore-like chat with Hollywood Titan, and none of them showed up. What do you make of that, though?
I mean, I guess it might get tired of hearing this idiot. You brought his mouth 24/7. Nonetheless, I mean, look, I will give him credit on one thing. One thing. This is the one thing I give you credit on for one thing. You are a TBW original. I give you credit on that. For one thing. And look, you've done a lot for TBW. I'll give you credit on that also. This ain't a respect factor. Believe me, don't get it twisted. This ain't a respect factor. You've done a lot for the promotion. I get that. But I will never, as long as I shall walk the face of God's green, I will ever call you a king. I'm sorry. I can't do it. Can't do it.
Well, I mean, you'll eventually do it.
No. I will never.
The time will come. And I can't wait to meet you face to face in the ring eventually. I wonder what's going to happen there. Because remember, I never forgot what you did to me.
Hey, look, I don't care. I don't care where it's at. I don't care if it's in TW or in Memphis. I don't care where it's at. I don't. I really don't.
And that would count Resurrection also then, because obviously we have Resurrection that we know has worked with TBW, and we have a big show coming up on the 27th of January, and we have featured Resurrection shows. And again, we'll have Steven Silvestri, Wrestling the Greatest Referee, Monday night to talk about all that. But I mean, again, Mr. Allen, I'll still say it though, the names that are supposed to be the quote-unquote hardcore guys right now, the go-to hardcore names in this sport, they didn't want any part of Hollywood Titan tonight. They didn't want any part. They didn't come on. I mean, I will have Omen and Soldier on Sunday night. Now, certainly, I'm sure Omen and Soldier, when they have their address to Sportswire, it's their show, they'll certainly have their state of the state, and they'll certainly, talk about Hollywood Titan then. But the facts are tonight, the biggest names in this sport, they didn't want to come on. They didn't want to challenge Hollywood Titan. I'll even go further, Mr. Allen, because you obviously run this company, and we love this company, by the way, Tennessee Backyard Wrestling on our socials.
Appreciate that. Thank you.
The facts are is that I don't think Jimmy Controversy could hang in TBW. I'm not sure if Hardcore could hang in TBW right now. Mikey Anarchy, after what I saw from his body last week on the show, when he unveiled the back of his shirt with all the connected dots, I could play with that. Mac 10, we know the deal with him. I mean, you can go up and down the list. I mean, Dustin Alexander, certainly. I mean, but the facts are is that, I don't think those guys could come in here and hang with the best in this sport that TBW has to offer, like Hollywood Titan, our Hardcore King.
Well, Tom, everybody's got opinions, and they're entitled to them. I get that.
Yes.
But, I mean, you got people. I mean, you're forgetting some other names. I mean, you mentioned, let's say you got Hardcore, Omen Black, Soldier GP, guys like that. They're established in Hardcore. Mac 10, Obey.
Mikey Anarchy.
Omen Tarzan Duran. There's a name there, too.
Tarzan Duran, Dirty Ron. Yep. There's Grim himself, Madman Pondo. But those guys, I don't think they could come in and hang in TBW, many of them. I think that with the TBW following and knowing that TBW is the home where thousands and thousands watch our product because we know how good TBW is. I'm not saying all of them. Certainly Omen and Soldier are going to be here Sunday, and I know Omen and Soldier very well. They certainly have made it clear, at least through both of them tonight in comments, that they would like to obviously have their case heard. But some of those other names, I don't know if they can hang with Hollywood Titan. I don't know.
Where are they at? None of them came on here tonight to challenge me when I went out of my way at season finale.
Bring on anyone.
Anyone.
Bring on anyone. And we gave it open to bring on anyone, and
I gave them an opportunity, and they want to disrespect me like that. I was open to anybody for challenging me for this. I might take that back now.
Oh, for God's sake.
Well, is there anything else you want to say, Mr. Allen? Obviously, season 7 finale, extremely successful. Over 2,500 people have already watched, the likes of Hollywood Titan, the likes of Russell Cooper, Gage Flair, certainly Commissioner Beast. I don't know if Commissioner Beast had lead paint he drank. I don't know what it is. but the points are, no, I'm serious on that one. Manny Cobra's return, Fat Asian. The facts are so many people, Adrian Prince, Drake Golddragon, obviously D'Angelo LaFlame. A lot of people watched this product that we put out there, and so many people love TBW, and we've certainly recognized that here. But is there anything else, Mr. Allen, that you'd like to say on behalf of season finale 7 or anything else in general before we sign off for the evening?
Well, I want to thank all the fans, right? That's the main thing, is the fans.
Oh, my God. TBW Universe. I think some of the greatest fans in this entire sport.
That's the main thing, whether you like some of the guys or you don't. Whether you got a guy that wants to be respected 24/7 like he's God's girl, which you're not. Hint. But yeah, but the biggest thing is the fans, because it wasn't, like I said in the ring, wasn't for them, we wouldn't have this. So that's the main thing.
Unbelievable. Yeah, unbelievable. The TBW is just so special.
But yeah, the whole Beast thing, I'm trying to see what the heck is up with it. I think everybody was, put on the brakes and shocked at the fact that what went down after the match. And maybe there'll be some answers next season. This coming season, I don't know.
Do you think Beast will have a job still?
I really have no clue, Tom. I don't know what's going on in the guy's head right now. I don't even know. But I don't want to think this is not the Beast we've been seeing for the past this season.
He
doing
was
the right thing
down the line this season.
Exactly, doing the right thing, doing the right call, and now this. And honestly, this is the work of Jay Wild. It is.
The Prophet Jay Wild certainly did a number on almost everybody in the locker room, and for you, Hollywood Titan, I don't know how this still bodes. My advice to you would certainly say just get out of Commissioner Beast's way, and certainly let him handle Johnny J and the Nature Boy Gage Flair. Mr. Woo Man is going to certainly, I'm sure, have some things he wants to say about that. We'll obviously see, and we're going to have a special thing that we're going to do for TBW very soon. In fact, we're going to do it at the beginning of February. It's something I actually want to recognize on behalf of TBW. I'm going to stay tuned. I'm going to make that announcement certainly next week. I want to make that announcement here live on the next week, but I'm going to also tell you guys off the air. But D'Angelo wants to say TB Dub. Yes, the TB Dub. Man, I get goosebumps, when guys come out and I hear all those fans and the chants. It's almost like I want to just jump into that screen and jump in there and just go out there and just run and yell like TBW. That's how much we love TBW. But I love TBW so much. You asked me, "Oh, did you watch the show?" Not only did I watch it 3 times. So that's what we do here in Sportzwire. We always make sure we support those that support us, Tennessee Backyard Wrestling, on all platforms, and especially YouTube. Over 6,100 subscribers. You go out there and support that company, Tennessee Backyard Wrestling. Certainly, again, one more time on the screen. I got to put it up before closing thoughts.
Yes.
King of Sportzwire Radio. All of a sudden, I notice now those views start to go up, the numbers go up because we see here it is TB Dub. I want to say a little to my buddy out there before I go in Long Island, James D. Simone. Didn't even know you were alive. James, hope you're well out there. I know you're out trying to play college basketball, I think, for Misericordia University. I hope you get out there on the court. We see you very soon, and definitely I'm glad that you're safe out there with the storms in the Northeast and in the rest of the country. So thank you, as always, for that. But, gentlemen, anything else you want to say? Any final thoughts before we sign off? Yeah, go ahead.
Josh, how does it feel to have almost 400,000 views on TikTok on your return?
Well, if we're going to shoot here for a second, that's
do it.
Breaking the fourth wall.
We did it yesterday with Jack.
Breaking
Black. Go ahead.
Breaking the fourth wall. I mean, it's crazy because I didn't think it would be that.
Oh, well, I think he's kind of in thought about thinking about 400,000 views. But yeah, I mean, listen, we spoke about it when Josh came on here. We'll let him come back on. But the fan base that you guys have, it's just like with the reels, the TikToks, it's just like you guys are like.
I think TikTok helps a lot. I really do. People need to try it out.
Listen, we're going to break the fourth wall. I was speaking with Jack Delta yesterday, and he goes, TBW. They got something special about that name, TBW. There's just something special about that name, and that's what I think invokes emotion. And like we said it on the air last night, whether it's good or bad, the facts are TBW is the place that everybody wants to see what's going on. Why? Because of our guest tonight, who is recognized to forever be our hardcore king of Sportswire Radio. The Hollywood Titan, no more Atomic Titan. He's Hollywood Titan, the TBW Grand Slam champion, the only Grand Slam winner in the company's history, our hardcore king. Anything else you want to say? Maybe if Josh comes back, we'll bring him back on. But any other closing thoughts?
I want to say, if you haven't seen season finale, go check it out.
You have a problem with your brain if you haven't seen. You have a problem mentally if you haven't watched season finale yet. To be honest with you, you have real visual and emotional problems if you have not gone out and watched season finale 7. I'll put it out there right now.
Okay, yeah, and I'll break the fourth wall. I want to thank the fans for the support. Honestly,
I know it's weird on Sportswire now because I do these so many times that it's almost like everybody really does break the fourth wall on Sportswire because it's just that, it's we do it in character, but the facts are people know that,
Yeah, but I truly mean that. Like, I want to thank everybody that, watches us and supports us. I never expected our promotion to get this big on YouTube or TikTok. It's actually pretty crazy. But I do this because I love wrestling.
Oh, me too. What do I always say? All wrestling matters. That's the new hashtag on Sportswire. All wrestling matters. And, I want to thank you for all that you do. And I want to thank you for, everything you do to put a platform out there for us to go out and watch the content that's out there. And that's why, we're really here. I was speaking with one promoter today off the air, and he was thanking me. And I was like, no. I thank you for going out there. Thank you for putting a product. And I say the same to everybody that's involved in TBW. And I want people to follow it.
Yeah. And I hope TBW actually brings something unique or something to backyard instead of like, you know what I mean? I hope it's like.
I
hope
think,
people
listen,
are-
I watch, Break the Fourth Wall. I watch a lot of wrestling. TBW definitely has something very special. There's a little bit of everything into TBW. TBW is like Baskin Robbins. You get 32 flavors of wrestling. You get a little bit of the Crash TV. You get a little bit of the serious technical wrestling. You get some of the storyline. You get some of the just kind of everything else in between. So that's why TBW is such a great product. And that's why I want one more time to follow TBW like I do on YouTube at TBW 2017.
Yeah.
Also, merchandise. Get your merchandise. If you haven't had your merchandise, I'm going to get my merchandise very soon. Redbubble.com /people TBW merch shop and Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Tennessee Backyard Wrestling, Atomic Titan, TikTok, and Instagram. Follow this man because he is forever now the hardcore king of Sportswire Radio. Yes, and I agree, Jules, with you. We definitely want to thank you. And Champ, it is a pleasure as always. We definitely respect you as our hardcore king, and we can't wait to see you back here in a few weeks and look forward to sharing an announcement here for the audience on the air next week. And stay tuned for more details on that very shortly here.
I'll be watching.
All right, well, ladies and gentlemen, we were here with the hardcore king, now Hollywood Titan of TBW. He is a hardcore king. He's the TBW hardcore champion. He is the only Grand Slam champion in TBW's history. My name is the Reverend Tom Bryce. I am the host of the Sports Report, the owner of Sportswire Radio, the #1 global radio station where all wrestling matters. If you're on sportswireradio.org, you're going back to your regularly scheduled programming. If you're on YouTube and Twitter, I'll be back here tomorrow night with Chris Jones of XCW, Mr. Fletcher and Mr. Allen probably watching that together. Who knows? 9 o'clock Eastern time, ADT Saturday at 8. Omen Black and Soldier GP, I'm sure will respond in kind to what you had to say Sunday night. TBA on announced time for that. But until then, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are on the #1 global radio station that is Sportswire Radio. And Drake Golddragon, you were absolutely spot on. We love Resurrection. We love TBW. I'll see Steven Silvestri Monday night, and thank you, everybody.